A fashion blogger's challenge turned me into a girl. I never thought my life would change because of a bet. A simple, playful challenge that spiraled out of control. It started with a casual conversation with my girlfriend Emma, an argument I never should have entertained. But pride can be a dangerous thing, and before I knew it, I had agreed to something that would alter the way I saw myself forever. My name is Daniel Carter, a 25-year-old freelance writer struggling to find his niche. I've always been more of a behind-the-scenes kind of guy, reserved, analytical, and cautious. I write articles for online publications, mostly about tech and gaming, though I occasionally take on lifestyle pieces when the pay is good. My job keeps me at home most of the time, giving me the luxury of working in my pajamas while sipping coffee at my desk. But that isolation also means I spend a lot of time inside my own head. I've never considered myself particularly adventurous, and I certainly never saw myself as someone who would experiment with something as bold as crossdressing. But, like I said, it all started with a bet. Emma, my girlfriend of 2 years, is a fashion blogger with a growing audience. She's confident, stylish, and fearless, everything I'm not. She spends her days filming try-on hauls, discussing the latest trends, and giving her followers tips on accessorizing. Her passion for fashion is infectious, and I love watching her work, even though I never truly understood the appeal. One evening, while she was prepping for a video about gender-neutral fashion, she playfully teased me about my predictable wardrobe, jeans, plain t-shirts, and the same black hoodie I've worn since college. "You have no sense of style, Danny," she laughed, tossing a sequin top onto her bed. "I bet you wouldn't last a day in my world." I scoffed, rolling my eyes. "Clothes are just clothes, Em. You're overthinking it." That was my mistake. Her eyes lit up with a challenge. "Oh, really? Then why don't you prove it? If clothes don't matter, then you should have no problem letting me dress you up. Just for fun. Just for one day." I chuckled, shaking my head. "Not happening." "Come on," she pouted. "Where's your sense of adventure?" I hesitated. It wasn't like I had anything against the idea, it just wasn't me. But something about the way she was looking at me, the teasing smirk on her lips, made my pride flare up. I didn't want her to think I was scared. So like an idiot, I said, "Fine. One day. But you can't make me wear anything ridiculous." She squealed in delight, clapping her hands together. "Deal. And I promise I'll make you look amazing." At the time, I thought it would be a harmless joke. Just a silly experiment between a couple. But I underestimated two things: Emma's determination and my own unexpected reaction to the transformation. We live in a small apartment in downtown Chicago. It's nothing fancy, just a one-bedroom with modern furniture and large windows that overlook the bustling streets below. The place is always filled with Emma's energy, her clothes draped over chairs, her camera equipment set up in the living room, makeup palettes scattered across the bathroom counter. That night, as I sat on our couch, watching her excitedly plan out my makeover, I felt a strange mix of apprehension and curiosity. "Okay, first things first," she said, grabbing her phone. "We need to figure out your look. Are we going for casual chic? Classy? Full glam?" I raised an eyebrow. "There are categories." She giggled. "Oh, sweetheart, there's a whole world of fashion you don't know about." She started pulling outfits from her closet, laying them out like a fashion stylist planning a red carpet event. Dresses, skirts, blouses, things I never imagined myself wearing. I gulped. Maybe something simple." She tilted her head. "Don't worry, I'll ease you into it. But you're going to have to trust me. Emma and I have always had a strong relationship. She's the extrovert, the life of the party, while I'm the quiet observer. She challenges me, pushes me out of my comfort zone, but she's also my safe place." But as I watched her excitement grow, a nagging thought crept into my mind. What if she saw me differently after this? I wasn't afraid of the clothes. I was afraid of what they might mean. What if I looked too convincing? What if I liked it? What if she liked it? I shook off the thoughts, forcing a smile as she held up a silky pink blouse. "Tomorrow is going to be fun," she promised. I nodded, trying to ignore the strange flutter in my stomach. I had no idea what I had just agreed to. Morning came too soon. I woke up groggy, still half convinced that last night's conversation had been a dream. But as I rolled over in bed, I saw Emma standing by the closet, her arms folded, a playful grin on her face. "Good morning, Sleeping Beauty," she teased. I groaned. I take it you haven't forgotten. Of course not. This is the most exciting thing ever. I've been thinking all night about the perfect look for you. I rubbed my eyes and sat up, trying to process what I had gotten myself into. It was just a game, right? A silly challenge. But as I watched Emma eagerly lay out clothes on the bed, a strange mix of emotions settled in my chest. Nervousness, curiosity, and something I couldn't quite name. All right, she said, clapping her hands together. Let's start with something simple. We'll ease into it. She picked up a pair of black leggings and a soft pink sweater, holding them out to me. Leggings? I asked, raising an eyebrow. They're comfy, and they'll look great on you. I hesitated but took them from her, feeling the fabric between my fingers. It was softer than anything I owned. Go on, she urged. You can change in the bathroom if you want. I considered it for a moment, but something about hiding away made it feel like I was ashamed. And if this was just for fun, why should I be? So, taking a deep breath, I stood up, turned my back to her, and began changing. As I slid the leggings up my legs, I was startled by how snug they felt, how they hugged my skin in a way jeans never did. The sweater was loose, comfortable, and when I looked down at myself, I felt different. Emma's eyes sparkled with delight. Oh my God, Danny, you look adorable. I rolled my eyes. Adorable isn't exactly what I was going for. She laughed. Trust me, we're just getting started. The first steps of transformation. Before I could protest, she grabbed my wrist and pulled me toward her vanity. Sit, she instructed. I hesitated. What now? Makeup, of course. Just a little bit to see how it feels. I swallowed hard. Makeup felt like crossing a line. Clothes could be dismissed as comfort, but makeup? That was an art, a statement. And yet, as she leaned in with a brush in hand, I found myself unable to say no. She worked with a gentle touch, humming as she applied foundation, concealer, and powder. This is surreal, I muttered, staring at my reflection as my face slowly transformed. Relax, she soothed. It's just makeup. You can wipe it off anytime. I nodded, but deep down, I wasn't sure I wanted to. She added a soft pink blush to my cheeks and a hint of eyeliner, her movements quick and practiced. There, she said finally, stepping back. Take a look. I turned to the mirror, and for a moment, I didn't recognize the person staring back. My face was still mine, but softer, more delicate. My features seemed to shift with the subtle changes, making me appear almost feminine. I swallowed hard. Wow. Emma beamed. Right? You're actually really pretty. My stomach tightened. Pretty. That word shouldn't have meant anything, but it did. It made my pulse quicken, my skin tingle. I didn't know what to do with the feeling. A moment alone. After Emma finished gushing over my new look, she got a phone call from one of her brand partners. Ugh, I have to take this, she said, frowning at her screen. It's a business call. Might take a while. I exhaled, relieved. So we're done. She grinned. Not even close. But take a break. Get used to how it feels. With that, she disappeared into the other room, leaving me alone. I stood there for a moment, staring at my reflection. I should have changed back, wiped off the makeup, gone back to being myself. But I didn't. Instead, I ran my hands down my sides, feeling the fabric of the sweater and leggings. I took a few steps, noticing how different my body felt, lighter, more graceful. And then, almost without thinking, I turned back to the closet. Emma had laid out more outfits, skirts, dresses, blouses, things I never imagined myself wearing. But now, I swallowed hard. No one was watching. What harm would it do? Heart pounding, I reached for a dress. It was navy blue, made of silky material that shimmered under the light. I held it against myself, staring in the mirror. It was ridiculous. I was ridiculous. And yet, before I could talk myself out of it, I pulled it over my head. The fabric slid over my skin like water, draping around my frame. It felt wrong. It felt right. I turned slightly, letting the dress sway. My breath hitched. Then I spotted the heels. They were nude-colored pumps, modest in height. I knew I shouldn't, but the curiosity was unbearable. I stepped into them, gripping the vanity for balance. The shift in height was immediate, making me feel taller, more poised. I took an unsteady step, then another. A strange, intoxicating thrill rushed through me. Was this how Emma felt every day? I twirled slightly, watching the dress move. And then, the sound of a door clicking open. Panic seized my chest. Emma was done with her call. I barely had time to react before I heard her voice. "Hey, babe, I was thinking." She stopped. I turned slowly, heart hammering. Her eyes widened as she took in the scene. Me, in her dress, her heels, fully made up. Silence stretched between us. I opened my mouth, but no words came out. Emma blinked. "Danny!" My throat was dry. I couldn't breathe. I had been caught. Emma's eyes widened as she took in the sight before her, me, in her navy blue dress, standing in front of the mirror, my lips slightly parted in shock. The heels I had foolishly stepped into made me feel even more exposed, as if the extra height somehow stripped me of any ability to shrink away from her gaze. Seconds stretched into eternity. My heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my throat. "Say something. Anything. Emma, She held up a hand, stopping me mid-sentence. Her expression was unreadable, neither anger nor amusement, but something else entirely. Her voice was quiet, but firm. "How long?" I swallowed hard. "How long what?" She stepped forward, closing the space between us. "How long have you wanted this?" Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. This wasn't about the bed anymore. This wasn't about a silly challenge or proving a point. Emma wasn't stupid. She saw something in me, something even I had been afraid to admit. I forced a laugh, desperate to diffuse the tension. "Come on, Em, it's not like that. I was just curious. You left me alone, and I figured, why not?" Her gaze didn't waver. "Why not?" she repeated, her tone careful. "Danny, I know you. You don't do things just for fun. Not like this." I opened my mouth, but no words came. What could I say? That I had been feeling something strange ever since I slipped into these clothes? That the moment I looked in the mirror, a part of me felt complete? No, that was ridiculous. Instead, I shook my head. It was just a stupid moment. It doesn't mean anything. Emma's lips pressed into a thin line. "You're lying." My stomach clenched. Then a knock at the door. The unexpected visitor. We both froze. The knock came again, louder this time. "Emma, it's Megan." My blood turned to ice. Megan. Emma's best friend. Emma cursed under her breath, glancing toward the door. I panicked. What do I do? She turned back to me, assessing the situation. I was still in the dress, still in the heels, makeup still perfectly applied. There was no time. Emma hesitated for half a second before grabbing my wrist and yanking me toward the bedroom closet. "In here. Now." I didn't argue. I slipped inside, barely managing to stay balanced in the heels, and Emma shut the door behind me just as the front door opened. "Hey, Megan," Emma greeted, her voice overly casual. "Hey, I was in the area and figured I'd stop by," Megan replied. "I texted you, but you didn't answer. I heard the rustling of bags. She had brought something with her." "Oh, yes, sorry," Emma said. "I was in the middle of something." I pressed my back against the closet wall, my breathing shallow. I could hear everything. Emma's forced laughter, Megan's footsteps as she moved through the apartment. And then, the closet door creaked slightly. I stiffened. Megan was close. Too close. "Is someone here?" she asked. Emma let out a nervous chuckle. No, why?" Megan hesitated. I could have sworn I heard something. My heart pounded in my chest. She was going to open the door. She was going to see me. I squeezed my eyes shut, bracing for the inevitable. Then Emma spoke. "Actually, yeah. I was trying on outfits for a new video. I was rushing to change when you knocked, and I didn't get a chance to put everything away." A beat of silence. "Oh," Megan said, laughing. "Gotcha. Sorry, didn't mean to barge in. What are you working on?" Emma hesitated. Gender-neutral fashion." I could practically hear Megan's nod. "Cool. You always nail those looks." Emma let out a relieved sigh. "Yeah, thanks." I stayed completely still, barely breathing as the two of them continued talking. Minutes passed. Megan chatted about her latest shopping spree, completely unaware that I was hiding just a few feet away, dressed as someone I didn't recognize. Then finally, "Well, I should get going," Megan said. Let's catch up soon, yeah? Definitely, Emma replied, walking her to the door. The door clicked shut. Silence filled the apartment. I let out the breath I hadn't realized I was holding. Then, the closet door swung open. Emma stood there, arms crossed, staring down at me. You were scared, she said quietly. I looked away. Of course I was. She shook her head, not just about getting caught, about something else. About this. I swallowed hard. Emma, please. Just be honest with me, she cut in. What are you feeling right now? I hesitated. The words were right there on the tip of my tongue. But I couldn't say them. I didn't even know what they meant. Instead, I looked at the mirror behind her. And I saw myself. The dress. The heels. The makeup. Not just a costume. A version of me I had never met before. A version I wasn't ready to face. Emma followed my gaze. You like it, she said softly. I didn't answer. But I didn't deny it either. The silence between us stretched so long that I thought it might swallow me whole. Emma stood there, arms still crossed, her gaze flicking between me and my reflection. You haven't answered me, she said, her voice softer now, less demanding but still firm. Do you like it? I swallowed, the lump in my throat making it hard to breathe. Every part of me wanted to deny it, to laugh it off, to make a joke and pretend none of this had ever happened. But I couldn't, because the truth was staring me in the face, just as Emma was. My mouth opened, then closed. I turned my gaze downward, unable to look her in the eye. She took a step closer. Danny! I took a shaky breath. I don't know. Her expression didn't change, but something in her eyes softened. Yes, you do. I bit my lip, staring at the floor. My legs felt weak, but whether it was from the heels or the weight of the moment, I couldn't tell. Emma reached out and took my hand, her fingers curling around mine. It's okay. I forced a laugh, but it came out brittle. What's okay? She didn't answer. Instead, she pulled me toward the mirror, positioning me so I was facing myself directly. Look, she whispered. I did. And for the first time, I truly saw myself. Not just a guy in a dress. Not just someone playing a part. Something deeper. Something I couldn't put into words. I didn't just look different. I looked right. Emma watched me through the reflection, studying every flicker of emotion on my face. After a long pause, she spoke again. You're scared? I nodded, barely able to find my voice. Yeah, but not because of me, she added. You're scared of what this means. A shiver ran down my spine. She was right. This wasn't just about the bet. This wasn't just about Emma's challenge. This was something bigger. Something I wasn't ready to face. And then, the front door rattled. I jumped, my heart slamming into my ribs. Emma's brows furrowed. Did Megan forget something? But before either of us could react, the door swung open, and someone stepped inside. I barely had time to process what was happening before a familiar voice rang through the apartment. What the hell is going on here? It was Emma's older brother, Jake. My blood ran cold. Jake. The same Jake who always made fun of guys who weren't man enough. The same Jake who once laughed about punching someone for wearing a skirt at a party. And now, he was staring right at me. I saw the confusion on his face morph into something else. Something dangerous. He looked from me to Emma, then back to me. Are you kidding me? My breath caught in my throat. Emma tensed beside me. Jake, what are you doing here? I left my wallet here last night, he snapped. Didn't think I'd walk in on this. His eyes raked over me, his lip curling. And that's when I realized he wasn't just shocked. He was angry. I took a step back, my knees shaking. Emma immediately stepped in front of me, shielding me from his glare. Jake just... What the hell is he wearing? Jake interrupted, his voice rising. He pointed a finger at me, his expression darkening. Is this some kind of joke? Emma's jaw clenched. It's none of your business. The hell it isn't. He laughed, but there was no humor in it. Are you seriously telling me your boyfriend? He spat the word like it was something dirty. Dresses like this? Are you out of your damn mind? I couldn't breathe. My heart pounded so loudly that I barely heard Emma's response. I swear to God, Jake, she said, her voice low and dangerous. If you don't shut up and leave right now, I will make you regret it. Jake scoffed. Oh, that's rich. And what? You're fine with this? You're fine with your boyfriend? He gestured at me wildly, running around looking like this. Emma didn't even flinch. Yes. My stomach twisted. She didn't hesitate. Jake's face contorted with disgust. You're both insane. I wanted to speak. I wanted to defend myself. But I couldn't move. I felt frozen. Trapped. Exposed. Jake turned to me, his voice sharp as a knife. And you? What the hell is wrong with you? Emma snapped. Shut up, Jake! She shouted. The room went dead silent. Jake's mouth opened slightly, like he couldn't believe she had actually yelled at him. Emma's hands were balled into fists. Her whole body was trembling with fury. If you say one more word, she seethed, I swear you'll regret it. Jake narrowed his eyes. You really gonna choose this over your own family? Emma didn't blink. I'm choosing what's right. The words hung in the air like a thunderclap. Jake shook his head, his jaw tightening. Then, without another word, he turned on his heel and stormed out, slamming the door behind him. The walls shook. And then, silence. My hands trembled. My breathing was uneven. Emma turned to me, eyes filled with concern. Danny! I couldn't hold it in anymore. A choked sob escaped my throat, and before I knew it, Emma's arms were around me. I collapsed into her, my whole body shaking. She held me tightly, whispering softly, It's okay. You're okay. But I wasn't sure that was true. Jake knew. And if Jake knew, who else would find out? I buried my face in Emma's shoulder, my mind racing. This wasn't over. Not even close. What happens next? Let me know in the comments. Would Emma stand by me no matter what? Would Jake tell my secret to everyone I know? Would I ever be able to face myself again? Comment below what you think will happen next.